So I'm going to apologize in advance. I started drinking a Monster about a half an hour ago, so I'm going to probably talk really, really fast, and hopefully get out a little bit early, okay?
I hear that. Just kidding. Okay, action, Mary.
All right, so we are going to talk about working with a team, working as a team. Hospice, we like to focus ourselves around the team approach. We don't believe that it's one discipline that creates the plan of care for a hospice patient. We believe in each team member has equal say in the care of a patient. And so we'll start with that. I really wish that I didn't have to just read word for word from here, but unfortunately it's a pretty dry topic, so I really couldn't lean outside of what they're asking us to learn about, so I will just try to read as fast as possible. So it does take a village. Being a member of a healthcare team is a unique situation that is not found in any other business industry. This is because every healthcare team is made up of several disciplines and personalities. It is and that's what makes it a unique situation. Healthcare teams require everyone to carry an equal share of workload with a common goal of caring for the client. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping it together is a process, and working together is success. Whether you work in a large facility with hundreds of people or you spend your days in private homes with just one client, you are part of the healthcare system. The success of the team depends on how well all the team members work together, right? If you don't get the opportunity to call your case manager, or every time that you call them for an issue they're not answering their phones, it's no fun. And who ultimately feels that pain? The client. As a member of a healthcare team, you are expected to understand your own job and how it fits into the team, know your basic understanding of your coworkers' jobs, and focus on how action affects the clients in the team. And in this in-service, we're going to take a look at the different types of personalities, but I won't make you take a personality test. Look at the jobs as a nursing assistant and show how important your work is to the entire healthcare team. Describe the role of many other disciplines who make up the healthcare team, and getting to think about how your clients are affected by your work and how well you work with your team members. So of course there's all different personalities. I don't know if you guys have ever taken a personality test and learned about what kind of personality you have compared to your coworkers. But typically what we find is somebody doesn't necessarily fall into one category all the time. They fall into multiple categories, right? We all have moods. We all act differently day by day. So sometimes you can be a giver and sometimes you can be a drama queen, depending on what the issue is.
Or king.
Or king. So a positive team contributor is the giver. You enjoy providing assistance whenever it is needed. You teach the team new and better ways to do things, and you encourage the team to set high standards. You're a team member. You're often seen as being generous and dependable. Then there's also the buddy. You believe in the strength of the team. You know you can't do it alone. You believe in the mission of the team, but you also are flexible and open to new ideas. You're willing to pitch in and work outside the defined role. The communicator. You're a good listener and you know how to diffuse conflict. Is it hot in here? It's the sun, huh? Let's see what we can do. All right, I'm going to freeze this out for a little bit and then tell me when you get too cold. Okay, so with the communicator, you know how to lift the spirits of team members and make everyone feel good about their individual contributions. Most people see you as a positive person. And then the challenger. You are not afraid to question protocol, policy, and procedure. You're willing to disagree with leadership, take risks when you believe something can be done more effectively. Most people think of you as brave and appreciate your openness. That would be a really hard one to have, right? Because that would kind of, at times, be hard. What?
She's a troublemaker.
Right. But you're considered to be appropriate with your requests. You know? So, unfortunately, there are negative, right? For every good, there's a bad. Negative force can tear a team apart, causing decline in morale and higher turnover rate. So negative contributors, drama queen. These people love to know the details of others' lives and have no problem discussing their own details. They like to gossip and tend to give advice, even if it's not required. The bully. The person likes to be in control. Bullies are strong, smart, and get right to the point. When the bully is angry about something, people know to stay out of their way or they'll be eaten for lunch. Unlike the bullies on the playground, this person would never resort to physical abuse in the workforce. They may say hurtful things to injure people. And then my favorite, the couch potato. These types tend to get bored quickly and are not really interested in the job. Couch potatoes wish life had a remote control so they could just change the channel to do something more exciting. Couch potatoes tended to only do the absolute minimum and don't like to pay attention to details. As a result, their work may be somewhat sloppy. All right, so here in the VNA, when you're in hospice, you have multiple team members. So we have physicians. Most physicians specialize in a certain area, and our doctors specialize typically in palliative care. About a third of physicians practice primary care, which is like your normal PCP or your primary doctor that you go see. But some, which typically do like your checkups, ordering, performing diagnosis, prescribing medications, treating illnesses. But does anybody know who our physicians are here at VNA? Name one.
Dr. D.
Dr. Dahlwater, and he is our overall medical director, right? And then within him, how many physicians does he have?
4 or 5.
4. Name another one.
Dr. Ducky.
What's his name?
Dr. Dahlquist.
Ducky.
In San Bernardino.
In
What's
San
his name?
Bernardino,
What's
Dr. Dahlquist. He's in San Bernardino.
his- The other guy.
Dr. Diamond is also one of them.
No.
Indian guy. What's his name?
We have Dr. Sideropoulos.
Oh yeah, that's the one. So it's in the Ropolis.
He kind of has a thicker accent. We have Dr. Plott. He is now, his last name is Potts. He is a doctor, an ER doctor at a San Antonio hospital. So if you go in the ER, you might see him. He just recently has been taking call and helping to see face-to-faces and things like that. We also have Dr. Dr. Smith in CHVB. She takes call for our hospice patients down here. So we have quite a few physicians that help us out to meet the requirements, but also to give Dr. Dahlwater a break. The pharmacist. Does anybody know what pharmacies we use here at the VNA?
CBS, isn't it?
Huh?
It's not CBS, is it?
Nope. We use Advanced Care typically here in Claremont, and we are trying a new company called Citrus in San Bernardino. Does anybody know how late they deliver medications?
I was told they get
24/7.
24/7.
So when our patients call after 12 o'clock for same day refill, their prescriptions are typically coming between 11 and 12 at night. Right? Crazy, huh? So our pharmacies deliver 24/7, so sometimes families might tell you, oh my God, this weird guy knocked at my door. I don't know who he was. It was like 11 o'clock at night. We actually had somebody call the police the other day because 2 daughters were caring for their mother. They had just gone on to hospice, and somebody knocked at the door about 11:30, knocked several times, got in a car, took off. The girls, the daughters, actually took a picture of the car, called the police department, and they started to do a whole little thing on trying to find out who this person was. Well, when our nurse went in the next morning and said, where are these medications? They called Advanced Care, said nobody answered the door. What time did you deliver? Around 11:30. And then the daughters were like, oh, that's right, you said the medicine was coming. So, yeah, right? So pharmacies, they help to fill prescriptions. They often help the nurses and the doctors know if their dosages are correct, if there's any side effects. Often they counsel people on medications. How this affects you and the team that we're on is if a client asks you about medicine, you obviously want to tell your supervisor. In here it tells you to call your pharmacy. Tell them to call the pharmacy. They need to call us. If they call the pharmacy actually won't talk to them, and then they'll say call hospice, and then we'll help to figure out what the problem is. Also too, almost all of our prescriptions come in Spanish. We can have all the labels on the prescriptions be put into Spanish. So if you notice that families are asking you to translate or do things like that, let us know and we'll try to change that. They don't really do any more labels outside of that, but Spanish is a big one for us. Administrative. Administrator is a business manager. Administrators make day-to-day decisions about how the agencies run, keeping your workplace policies and procedures current, sending and saving company money the best way, hiring and managing employment, keeping clients' medical records safe and confidential. How can you help an administrator's job? Is to be creative on how to solve problems. Often I know administrators will come to you guys and say our supply costs are too high. Help us figure out ways to make this happen. Same thing, administrators came to you guys and said, how come supplies are missing out of the supply room when we don't know who picked it up and where it went? So now you guys came up, I guess somebody came up with a sign-in sheet to sign your stuff out. So you can always help them by helping them to problem solve some of the concerns that happen in the administrative part. Who is our administrator here? Do you guys know who our president is?
MF.
Marcia Fox. Who's our vice president of clinical over hospice? Vicki Prince. Has anybody met Vicki? No? Okay. Vicki Prince, she's been with the agency, I want to say maybe 8 months, maybe a little bit longer. She originally was hired for admissions and now she's over all of clinical hospice. So before, Gail Wilson was in charge of, as vice president over clinical, over home health, hospice, and all agencies. Now we've divided that. We gave clinical manager to home health and we gave one that's dedicated just to hospice. So, and then below that goes Margaret Townsend and Gail Wilson, Susan Schrum. They all kind of, goes Margaret, then Gail, and then Susan Schrum. They all kind of fall into that category. Registered nurses is another part of the team. You work to promote health. They work to promote health, the coping and wellness of a patient. They assist in physicians' treatment orders, assess in physical and emotional needs of a client, administer medication, taking care of wounds, drawing blood, supervising LVNs and nursing assistants, and conduct in-services to their fellow employees. So it's really important to make sure that you're clear about what the RN expects from you guys. If you have questions, make sure you ask, and your input is very important to them. Some of them, especially in facilities, never even have access, really one-on-one access with their patient as long as you guys do. I don't know if you see in nursing homes, most LVNs are pushing medications and they expect their CNAs and their home health aides to tell them when something's up. Does anybody know who our nurses are here in Claremont, our RNs? Just name some. Levy,
Sue,
Dave, Sue,
Edgar.
Dorothy's last day was Wednesday. She moved to Santa Barbara. Her husband got a job up there.
And I got a room in their house too.
Maureen Mock.
Mhm.
You guys are missing some. How about Erin? She does most of our Spanish speaking, Pomona area. How about Janelle? She does like England Christian, Providence, kind of our Ontario homes. Janelle, or I'm sorry, I just said Janelle. We did David, Edgar, male Spanish speaking nurse.
Renee.
Simone.
LVN, close.
Renee.
Renee Vukatakis, She has Claremont Place, Sunrise at Claremont, kind of more or less does the Claremont area. We have Luann. She is an admission nurse. She's an RN. She is going to be case managing with us for a couple of weeks, and then she'll go back to admissions because we are short Janine Decker. She has Brookdale, Royal Oak, out that far area. She's on medical leave, so she's anticipated back in about 2 weeks. And then Luann will go back to admissions. So some people might say Luann, and you're going to be like, who is that? She's one of our RN nurses helping us out. LVNs. So LVNs do a lot of basic care at bedside. They administer medications, they apply dressings, they observe changes. They really do work under the care of the RN, and the RN and LVNs both do under the care of the physician. So there's a lot of things that RNs can do that LVNs cannot do. And there's a lot of things that LVNs are really great at that I tend to see RNs not the greatest at. So it's very interesting to see. And every agency has different policies and procedures outside of maybe what the state of California has for these nurses about what an LVN and an RN can do. So sometimes in a facility, LVNs do different things than what our LVNs would do here.
It's like drawing blood.
Drawing blood, a lot of PICC line stuff, LVNs can't do. IVs, LVNs can't do, RNs can. But besides that, here at this agency, they do a lot. Name me some LVNs here in the Claremont office. Gary, everybody seems to like Gary.
Shauna.
Shauna, she works here in the call center. Simon. Anybody else know any others?
Sharon.
Sharon Jones, she works our 2 to 11.
Keisha Jackson. Susan.
Susan Schramm, Lakeisha Jackson, but they don't really go out in the field
No,
anymore.
they don't.
How about Daniel?
Simon.
Simon. Daniel, he's a 2 to 11 nurse. Annalisa. Has anybody ever met Annalisa?
Oh, my husband.
That's Home Health. We also have Danielle Molina.
Desiree Carter.
Desiree Carter. Sal Campo, he's typically does the continuous care to the 11 to 8.
He's still here?
Yep. He works the 11 to 8 shift, and he's typically either going out to do PRNs, which are typically patients that call in the middle of the night between that shift, or he sits in a home and actually does continuous care and stays awake, which is pretty interesting because I don't know if you've ever seen Sal. He's quite a kidder and likes to joke and laugh and just be in a house with him for 8 hours. During those last moments of your loved one would be very, I don't know, for me it would be very comforting. So, physical therapist. In hospice, we don't use physical therapists as much as maybe some other agencies. We typically use physical therapists as a safety eval, teaching families how to transfer, teaching patients how to transfer, what's the safest route for them to get out of bed. Sometimes we've used home health aides to determine even if a patient is capable of getting out of bed. So we don't really use them as much as maybe home health. But they definitely help clients with gaining their strength and exercising, working on clients with their coordination, how to perform ambulation and perform daily activities. Does anybody know what the difference between a physical therapy is and an occupational therapy?
Speech and walking.
I think so.
Yeah, what do you think?
Occupational therapy are the ones that helps you so you can get back to your old routine.
Right. So an occupational therapist is typically somebody who helps you with fine motor skills. They work with the small muscles. How do you hold a fork? How do you eat? How do you brush your teeth? How do you go to the restroom? All of those things that you typically don't, you won't see in physical therapy. Physical therapy is more like walking, getting up, transferring, exercise of the arms, the legs. They're really, like, I call them my personal trainers, right? They come in and they're like, this is what our goal is. I want you to walk so many feet and this is how we're gonna do it. You're gonna do exercises 5 times a day. and this is what you're going to do. And they teach them, and then they come back and say, have you been doing your exercises? And they're really gonna try to promote those big muscles that we use to get around. Speech therapy. Speech therapy often is giving instructions on how people communicate, how to use their tongue, how to use their mouth, how to use their breathing. They often are used to help patients with trouble with swallowing. Here in hospice, we use our dietitian to do swallows and to teach families how to do those swallows, how to get the patient to swallow correctly and if they're using the right foods. Currently, I don't think at this agency we have a speech therapist for home health, but at times we have, and so it works really great because sometimes they'll go out and maybe someone suffered a stroke, they can't talk, and so they need new ways to communicate. So, those social workers, who knows the social workers? Name some. Right? Okay, name another one. Monica Nuftia. Lindsay Truman. Sabui. Anyone can say her last name?
Walla Walla.
Right? Good job,
There you
Vincent.
go.
Good job.
Monica, we have to
Well, we said Monica Nuftia. One more. He does home health and hospice. Carlo. Right. So Carlos does home health and hospice. So you'll see him in your home health patients. So a social worker provides direct counseling to a client and family members, organizes support and suggests resources, helps with managing personal and family crisis, and in arranging and supportive services. Activity director. Does hospice have an activities director? No. Do we have a volunteer coordinator?
Yes.
Who is it?
Here.
Mm-hmm. Monica, and we're doing her last name, so you don't send the email to the wrong person?
Monica Lyons.
Right. So we have Monica Lyons, she's our volunteer coordinator. She helps to train our volunteers. She helps to encourage clients to socialize and develop hobbies with these volunteers. She plans and organizes the activities for them, and helps these families to accept new things. Nursing assistants. Anybody know any?
No.
That's gonna be you guys, CNAs, home health aides. So obviously, the best way you guys can be team players is pull your own weight. However, each member of the team has its own responsibilities to help meet the goal. You guys have your own. Stay flexible, be ready for change, plan for work, right? You're not coming to work with your pajamas or your bathing suit on. You're prepared with your scrubs, and not necessarily your high heels, your tennis shoes, or anything that's non-slippery. And you're going to manage your time. You're going to be more organized, so that you have a better chance of completing. Other members of the hospice team is chaplains. Can you name my chaplains? Nina Ball and Madden. And does anybody know who our bereavement coordinator is?
What's her name?
That's Kia, isn't it?
Yes, it is Kia. Kia is our bereavement coordinator, and she helps us to offer those services to our bereaved. Okay, so the clients and their families. The most important members of the healthcare team, besides us, is the client. Medicare is very focused around allowing the patient and family to create the plan of care. Before that, Medicare, I don't know if any of you guys have had a hospital stay, have had a loved one in a hospital. They rarely allow the family to be a part of the plan of care. You walk in, you see your loved one, and you're like, where are they? And the hospital goes, oh, we ran them down for tests. Tests for what? Oh, well, we can't really tell you that. The doctor ordered the test. Oh, okay, so you don't really get a choice. You sometimes, even if you're a patient in a hospital, you don't get the choice. They come in, they say, we're taking you for an MRI. You're saying, what are you looking for? And they say, we don't know yet. The doctor just requested an MRI. And what are you going to do? Okay. And you get shipped down to, sent down to get your MRI, and you're lucky if you get those results. So it's really, really important that our clients get those rights to be a part of the plan of care. It does not feel fun when you don't have control over that. Your clients are entitled to help plan their own care. to make decisions about what kind of treatment and daily care they want. This means that they also have the right to refuse treatment and to help with daily care. So, do patients get the right to refuse a bath?
Yes.
After you've entered the door, right? Just kidding. Do patients have the right to say, I don't want to shower today, I prefer a bath?
Yes.
Yes.
Do patients get the right to tell you that when they're at the bath, they want to get in the shower?
No.
Right. So you have to know your limits when it comes to allowing them to be a part of that plan of care. Remember that the first thing, remember that at first you're a stranger to the client. Take the time for the two of you to get to know each other. Each client also plays a role in the healthcare team by supporting their loved one. Make efforts to get to know the family, and they will help to understand your client better. How many of you walk in and when you see a patient for the first time, you ask the family, if the patient can't advocate for themselves, where do you keep your towels? How do you like it? What would you like me to do with the laundry after I'm done? You set up that rapport with them so that those expectations are there. And when they have an animal, sometimes our staff will say, oh, what's your animal's name? And you just kind of get to have a rapport with this individual. You know that you're going to be continuing to see them. Be honest with your client. If they ask you a question, be truthful. And if you don't know the answer, it's okay. I don't know, but I can find the answer. It's very important that your clients and your family understand what you are and you aren't allowed to do. When one home health aide does outside of their care plan, guess what? Every person who follows after them fails. Because that expectation is going to say, well, Vincent did it for me. He made me chorizo and eggs and bacon this morning. How come you're not making me chorizo and eggs and bacon this morning? So, be conscious of that. Stay within your care plan. It is very important. Respect your client's mood. And everyone reacts differently to being ill or dealing with a disability. It's your job to stay positive and support your clients even when they act sad or grumpy. I think, Vincent, you do an amazing job. I've been in homes where, I'm literally in a deep conversation and you come in with that Santa Claus laugh, and you start laughing with the clients, and I remember a wife saying, I just love when Vincent comes because my husband doesn't want to do anything but sit on the couch and watch TV, and when Vincent gets here, he smiles, and I hear them giggling, and I hear them laughing, and she goes, it is so great that he just comes in with this whole different feeling. So be cautious of that, and also be cautious of your negative moods, right? When we're out driving from patient to patient and people are messing with us and getting in our way, and all we want to do is get to one patient's home to the next, the fastest possible route. When you're mad about road rage, you carry that into a patient's home, that's not fun. It's not fun for the patient, and it's not fun for you. So be really conscious of your moods when you go in. Try to give your clients as much control of their lives as possible. Give your clients choice whenever possible. Clients have the right to expect quality of care from every member in the healthcare system. And remember, the client is the boss. Without a client, none of us have a job. All right, communication tips. Be kind to each other. Remember that working with the sick and the aging can be emotionally exhausting. It can be very frustrating and every day improve and to see no improvement or even get worse. Support your coworkers and let them support you. How many times have you guys said, I've been caring for the same patient for 2 years, I've been watching them decline slowly. Would anybody just willing to switch out with me? Right? We've all had those clients. So that's considered healthy. Avoid drama. Unfortunately, it seems that humans get together in groups and gossip and talk behind people's back. Keep in mind this is very destructive behavior. Try to keep your personal feelings about other team members to yourself and refuse to listen to gossip. It is not about you. Never forget the client's a member of the healthcare and that clients need the main focus of the entire team. Be sure you and other members talk to the client about client's healthcare goals. Hold that thought. Never say negative things about another team member, especially in front of a client. I know it happens. I know sometimes we get frustrated when we say those things, but our clients do tell us when those things happen. So just because the other home health day doesn't do it the way you do and you're covering for them and you're, you know, or even if a home health day does something that you wouldn't typically do with your clients, like maybe make chorizo and eggs and bacon instead of pouring cereal, don't tell the client. Bring that up to your supervisor or the coworker that you have the issue with. Keep it to a minimum when, even when you're on the phone. Sometimes we forget we're on our cell phones and somebody's supposed to be meeting you for a joint visit and they're late. And you call Jocelyn and you say, man, they're always late. I just want my visit and get it done with. Your clients can hear it, even if you're outside their door, so be cautious. Be sensitive and effective. You know it's true, guys.
Yes.
I hear the conversations that come in with Jocelyn, and then I hear of the family. Yeah, you guys can laugh and giggle. People who often be sensitive. People who often work in the healthcare systems are often sensitive to the needs of others. They are expected to be warm and caring, yet at the same time they're expected to never make a mistake and be as tireless as a machine. Help your team members to encourage them to talk about the stress and being willing to share their feelings. No one knows better about the stress of a job than another coworker. And pay attention to details. A detail that seems minor could be crucial to another team member. Tips for working with a team. Plan and prepare. Think about other team members and fit it into your client's day. For example, it's now 9 a.m. and you know that Miss Simons has physical therapy at 9:30. If you rush and give her a bath at 9 o'clock, she's probably not going to benefit from physical therapy at 9:30. You're not alone. Remember, every team member works very hard. For example, a physical therapist spends a lot of time on their feet, lifting and transferring clients. Know your scope of practice. Never perform outside of your task, right? Ask for more training if you need it. Find a role model. Use your observation skills to watch a coworker as they go about their daily job. Learn a lot from watching others. Get with the program. Think about how your actions affect everyone else in the team. For example, let's say your team has a goal of your client, Ms. Jones, proving a strength in arms. The occupational therapy works with Ms. Jones every day. At the same time, you do everything for Mr. Jones. Wash, brush his hair. She never will reach her goal of her healthcare goal if you're doing everything for her, right? So just because we're in a hurry and let's say it's a home health patient and they say, oh, the occupational therapy tells me I need to brush my hair. Well, sometimes I have children, I know exactly what I do. They're like, I want to brush my hair. I'm like, no, just give it to me. We're in a rush, honey. We're in a rush. And we forget that they need those skills and they need those time, that actual extra little bit of time to allow them to do those skills. Speak up. When talking with a team member, offer solutions, just not problems. Your team will benefit from this creative idea. Don't be shy about offering your opinion and making things better for your clients. Tips for working with a team, and then we're on to our test, guys. It is, if it's not documented, it hasn't happened. Learn from the lingo. Every discipline has certain ways of taking the shorthand about a client. For example, a nurse might say, tell Mrs. Wilson to ask for a PR medication for shortness of breath, which is SOB. Or the therapist might ask, how is Kelly doing with his ADLs? Is he moving his UES? I never even heard that. If a member of a healthcare team says something you don't understand, ask them. They will tell you what those acronyms are. It's like a football. Think about other kinds of teams and how important it is for everyone to contribute on the team. It takes a whole team. Remember, the study has shown that clients can improve when team members work together. Your clients are depending on you to work together, and when you work together as a team, you feel satisfied and a positive change in your client's life. Don't forget to give yourself credit for a job well done. All right, guys, you ready to take your test? You wanna just pick and read?
The speech therapist helps clients with trouble swallowing, yes.
Yes. And at this agency, who do we use? Registered dietitian Kathy Scott.
Should.
2.
A client who has trouble walking may need a physical therapist.
True, perfect. 3rd.
The social worker encourages clients to socialize by joining activities and developing hobbies.
No.
False.
Who in our agency, I mean, it's part of our initial psychosocial here at this agency,
True.
but in this topic, or in this book, it's actually false. They wanted you to say the activity director, and the activity director is our volunteer coordinator. So the volunteer coordinator helps to put volunteers in there that help to encourage clients to socialize by joining activities, interacting with others, have those kind of things. So 3 is false. 4.
The most important member of healthcare team is a physician, false,
False.
because
False.
client is
Right.
the important one.
All right, 5.
Oh, your client would like to know why he is on a certain medication. The best answer to give when you don't know the answer is B.
I'm not sure, but I can help you find out. It's better than, I think it's on aisle 5. I hate when I go to the grocery store and you ask them for something, they're like, I think, and I'm like, I don't want to go to aisle 5 if it's not there.
Yeah,
Tell me
but
where
then
it's
you go
at.
to 5 and it's not even
It's not there, huh?
And how long you been working here?
Right? 6.
If your supervisor asks you to perform a task that you are not sure how to do, you should pretend like you know and just do it. False.
Great. Okay, 7.
Documentation is the main way the team members share information.
True. Good job. You're so smart. Or I'm just a good teacher, I don't know. 8.
Your client tells you her adult son has been hitting her and stealing money out of her purse. The best person to help would be a social worker. That's true.
True.
And the cops.
And the restraining order for me not meeting the son. Okay, number 9.
The team member responsible for each client's plan of care is the RN. True.
Perfect. And last.
Your client has been depressed and withdrawn. He tells you God must have forgotten about him because he keeps praying but getting no answer. You may suggest that he speaks to Nina,
Right?
the
Or Ann,
chaplain.
or Steve.
The chaplain. Chaplain is the correct answer.